pro-Cristiano or anti-Messi or pro-Messi, anti-Cristiano. Feeling I had when Messi arrived for the interview is like I completed my career. I met with Cristiano also a few weeks ago in Saudi, and he was being super nice. I was also not surprised, but I was very happy about that because I saw Cristiano being also very easy, very nice, like a normal person in the street. He came there and said, Grande Fabrizio, which for me was like a medal.
Can you tell us, what are your top 5 friends in the football business?
I will never tell you because I have some good friends who are also players, like for example Erling Haaland. Then people can start thinking, no, this player is paying you to say this and that, but it's fine. I always say, if you have proof, bring the proof and I will close my account, no problem. You put the news in the correct way. That's how you get the respect.
Party animal, will you discover this for us, huh?
Difficult question, but I don't think it's a big secret, so I think I can put his name. And his name are.
Who is a veggie lover? Is there anybody in the football world who loves vegetables?
Haaland.
Hello guys, or should I say buongiorno, as we are in Milan, the city of fashion, but also the city of magnificent cathedral Il Duomo, the town of famous opera house La Scala, but for us football addicts, also town known for 2 great clubs, Milan and Inter. But there's another special thing about Milan. This is the city where Fabrizio Romano lives, and we're just about to have an interview with him. We'll try to find out how he became the most popular football journalist ever, and we'll try to find out how he gets information like nobody else. Fabri, per favore, can you announce the start of the interview?
Here we go.
Let's get to know him. Dear Fabrizio, let me start with welcoming you in the new episode of Sofascore YouTube series called Guest and a Half, 45 minutes of small talk, big names, and stoppage time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for the invitation. Big pleasure to be with you. Thank you for coming to Milan. I'm sorry if we don't have the best electricity now, but maybe it will get back, so let's see what happens.
Just starting problems. We'll power through.
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
At the beginning, I just wanted to tell you, if your phone rings, you
Yeah.
get some certain message because everybody's wondering how you do what you do. And some exclusive part of information might come just right now. This we won't find. Okay,
deal.
You just answer. If we get a glimpse a little bit, what do you do, how you do.
Okay,
Yeah?
perfect.
All
We
right.
have a deal. Perfect.
All right. So let's start at the beginning, back to the starting line. You just recently had a vacation. It's not something that you usually do. You were
Yeah.
at the Maldives. How was it?
Look, I don't call it proper vacation. I call it working from nice place. So it's like a 2.0 form of vacation. Of course, you can enjoy super beautiful places. So it's something that I really need at some points of the year when there is the international break. You think is the opportunity for me to maybe relax a bit from the daily routine and work in a different way, in a nicer environment like the one of Maldives. So it was really needed, and I came back stronger, so it was fantastic.
So this is the part of a year where you go to the holidays, because you said that you don't go during the summer like the rest of us.
Exactly, yeah. During the summer for me is just go there, you are in a fight, and so every single minute can be important. So you can't really relax. When there is the international break, like March, October, November, in this moment, it's not that you can relax because then you are there and there is Trent Alexander-Arnold, Real Madrid, so you still spend your time on phone, calling people, texting people. But you can do it in a more relaxed way. You know that in some moments you can be more calm. And so, yes, this is the moment of the year when I can take more time for myself.
But still, you don't turn off your phone.
Never. Last time I turned off my phone, I was like 14 or 15. So that's going to be impossible.
You just mentioned Alexander-Arnold and the Real Madrid. Just between us, something new.
Look, I think it's going to happen. Yeah, now it's just about the formal steps. You have to sign the contract to complete everything. But I see it happening. To be honest, it's very advanced, and to change your mind at this stage of the deal would be really shocking. And I've almost never seen something like that. And so I think it's going to happen. Real Madrid are very confident. I think it's going to be the first big signing of the summer transfer window.
Already, also I wanted to ask you, so it's just the first big shocking transfer for the summer. You know that the other ones are coming also?
Of course there's going to be more. We have to be busy in the summer. So yeah, I don't know.
But
there is going to be...
this big like Trent to Real Madrid?
I think there could be big moves. I expect a very busy summer, also because there is the Clubs World Cup. So it's going to change, I think, a bit the timing of the window. There will be more movement end of May, beginning of June. Then some of the big clubs will focus on the pitch and then restarting again. But then when you restart, it's end of July. The new season is about to start. So I think it's going to be very busy end of May, beginning of June is going to be really, really interesting compared to the past where many things were done at the end of the window. I think in this case, it's going to be very busy beginning of the window. So, yeah.
So, for this last part of this warming up, I'm going to show you a couple of memes about you, all right?
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
What does it say?
It says 3 words, 8 letters, say it, and I'm yours. Here we go. And I think it's a cool one, you know why? Because I'm receiving many messages every day from people maybe getting married and asking me for a video. So this is crazy to me. Every time these sort of things happen, I say it's unbelievable the level we reach, because I didn't expect, of course, any of this when I started. So
And you do it? You
nice
send the
one.
video?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Can you do it for me sometimes?
Yeah, of course. Send me a message.
Going to hold you for that.
Okay, perfect.
The next one?
Let's see. Football fans trust Fabrizio Romano more than their girlfriends, and that's what they always tell me when they meet me in the stadium or street or wherever. It's a good idea, I think, in general, to trust journalists more than normal people next to you, in general. But yeah, no, that's very nice. This trust level, this meme is very fun, but in general, this trust level for me is also responsibility, no, that you have for the people. So when you say, you work 20 hours per day, yeah, but when people tell you these sort of things, you understand why for me is a pleasure and is a passion.
Nice. Next one.
Don't worry, he's good at keeping secrets. Him. Yeah, well, look, I think this is a part of my job that many people don't know so well, no? Because you only see the output, and so you see the post and the news and all the rest. But trust me, the most difficult part of my job nowadays, compared to when I started, obviously it's completely different. But nowadays, the most complicated part of my job is to publish the news at the right moment. The timing of the news is really difficult. More than reaching the news and finding the news, which is becoming quite, I can't say easy, but easier compared to the past. The difficult part is to manage the news, because now I know many people in football, many of them are friends, and you don't want to hurt someone or to create a problem to a player, a club, an agent, a director, a president, or whoever. So you have to coordinate. And coordinating means you need time. And when you need time, you can lose the news, the exclusivity of the news. So, you know, keeping secrets, you know, people think that I'm always publishing everything, but many times I'm keeping the news, and it's not always easy. It's the most difficult part for me now.
And which news you held the most?
Good question. Good question. Look, I remember, for example, to give you a feeling, when Chelsea, it was 1.5 years ago, when Chelsea were looking for an offensive player, I remember there were 50 names on the media, all the possible names for the final days of August. Chelsea will sign this, that. No one was able to find which player is Chelsea really signing. Then I got a call. It was 3 a.m. in the morning. Was a guy telling me Chelsea will sign Cole Palmer from Man City. But don't say it before tomorrow, around 11, 12. I say, I can't wait that much because, you know, it's gonna come out for sure. It's the final 3-4 days of the window. It's not June or July where everyone is more relaxed. No, you have to wait. You have to wait. Trust me, I didn't sleep. It was impossible for me to sleep because it was too beautiful, that news. I love that news. Cole Palmer, completely unexpected from Man City. And then when I shared the story, exclusive Chelsea negotiating for Cole Palmer, the excitement of the people, someone criticizing, this guy at Man City is not playing, why we spend that money? Someone excited, okay, he's a big talent. This feeling is unbelievable. But for me, it was very difficult to keep that news for like 9-10 hours.
And you did wait. You did wait.
Yeah. So in that case, was successful, but you suffer, eh?
But it happened the other way. Like you waited and somebody.
Yeah. No, but it happens every week.
Oh, really?
This happens
That often?
every week. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but for example, for Trent Alexander-Arnold, I had many informations and I didn't want to share at some points because, you know, in the recent weeks, I mean, not years ago or months ago, but in the recent weeks, I didn't want to touch Liverpool in an important moment that the news come out. But I think I was the first one to say 1 year ago that Real Madrid were following the Trent situation, so I was still happy.
Okay. Did we finish or we have
There is one more. There is one more. Keep your mouth shut or draw 25. Here we go. That's also a cool one. I love these sort of things. You know, every time they send me, I really like. This one is the first time I see.
And have you ever encountered some memes that you didn't like?
No. To be honest, no. Every time is nice. It's just about the here we go and how many hours maybe I sleep or don't sleep, the trust, and so that's cool.
Okay.
That's good.
And in your messages?
Let's see. Let me check.
See.
I leave you this one.
Okay.
Let me check. No, at the moment it's quiet.
Oh, come on.
But don't say that too much because then something big could happen.
We have a lot of work to do, so...
Exactly.
Yeah, all right. That's it for this part. So let's move on to the section called Rate Yourself.
Okay, perfect.
So it's typical Sofascore rating from 3 to 10. We have 12 categories. 7 of them, I have to do a little bit of adjustment for you.
Okay.
So you're special for us, definitely.
Thank you.
7 of them are typical journalistical categories, and 5 of them football. Let's see how you rate yourself as a football player.
Nice.
Okay, so
Okay,
the
we
first
start. Yeah.
connections.
Connections, 10. On connections, I have to put 10.
Nobody has
Yeah.
can say anything.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
The next category is
Objectivity.
yeah.
I would say 8.2. Yeah,
Yeah.
8.2, quite good.
I mean, it's one of the biggest challenges, right?
Yeah. It's absolutely important. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why you keep your connections so close to you. Nobody knows who you're good with.
You have to be objective, I think, in this work. When you are a journalist, you have to be objective. Then sometimes you have your feelings as a football fan. That's why I say 8 and not 10. Because maybe you are at the stadium, you see a beautiful goal, and you want to publish something like, I love this player, I love how he scored, I love this feeling at the stadium with his fans. It's part of the game. You don't have to lose your natural feeling too, but the objectivity is always super important.
Yeah, the passion is in the middle of everything, right?
Yeah, always.
Accuracy?
Accuracy, let me say 8.1. 8.1, let's say 8.1.
Not more?
No, because you can be wrong. I've also been wrong several times, and I think it's part of the game. It's part of football. It's part of transfer market. You know, I always say when people want to follow the transfer news, they should accept that sometimes things can change. It doesn't depend on the journalist, but it's not just Fabrizio or any other. You can be wrong because maybe a player changed his mind, and so you told people that this was going to happen, and it's not happening. It's part of the game. So 10 in accuracy is impossible. 9, in my opinion, is too much because no one is perfect. I think 8 is a very good rate.
Do you have some statistics? How many your news went through like it happened with the deal and something fell through? Like
I don't have statistics.
maybe Sofascore can make
Yeah,
something.
I need that. Maybe we can sort that because that could be nice. But
But
you
what
know,
would say the percentage is like 80%?
no, I would say 75, 80, something around that. Yeah.
Okay. One of yours, let's say the things that didn't went through,
Yeah.
as you said, what would you say? Do you consider them as mistakes?
It depends. At the beginning, when I was younger, I did some mistakes. So in some cases, yes, because it was my own fault.
Like what?
It was many years ago, but maybe I wasn't experienced at the level to understand that maybe, I remember at some point, Sancho was close to going to Manchester United, and I was quite forcing that situation, but was not that close. I didn't say it was done, I didn't say here we go, so I was still relaxed, but maybe I was forcing the situation too much at that time. I was, again, younger, exploring international football, so it was different. Then, in some other cases, it's not my fault because it's the player changing his mind, or sometimes it's external factor. Like I always say, remember about Messi. When Messi leaves Barcelona out of nowhere, Messi was in Barcelona headquarters to sign the new contract. Everything was ready, was sorted, and then everything collapsed because we know La Liga, financially they couldn't make it happen.
You didn't see that happening?
I didn't see that happening at all. Apart from the morning, there was some strange story, but a few days before, we were all relaxed on seeing Messi extending the contract, and from Messi's side too. So, you know, that's the part of the story that you can't change. It's just external factor, the player, sometimes it's the family, sometimes it's the wife, sometimes it's the club, who can be whoever, but you need to tell people the truth. That's the most important part.
Yeah, there are also cases like Wijnaldum to PSG, to Barcelona, right?
Exactly, I always mention that. In that case, was agreed, he did the first part of the medical, he was ready to sign the contract. So, you know, at that stage to say, here we go, in my opinion, is correct. Because the verbal agreement is there. Here we go doesn't mean you sign the contract. Otherwise, you wait for official statement, not Fabrizio or other journalists. Then if you want a verbal agreement, in that case, was here we go, because everything was agreed and the medical was there. Then in the night, PSG call, say, we offer you 3 plus the salary offered by Barcelona. And the players say, I'm sorry, go to Paris. Good luck.
And that's what happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
Also like the case Hakim Ziyech to PSG, then he went.
Exactly.
That's the other story, right?
That was on deadline day, and they didn't send the documents in time for PSG and Chelsea to sign everything and to register Ziyech, so the deal collapses. And people can say, but you put Ziyech already in PSG shirt.
Yeah.
Of course, my friend. If you don't want this sort of journalism, just wait for official website, refresh, spend your day there, and wait for an official announcement. Because I can tell you what's going on today, but I can't sign the documents in time for Chelsea and PSG, unfortunately. definitely. I would like to sign the documents and contracts, but it's not my job.
Yeah, and there are certain people that are almost like waiting for you to make a mistake.
Of course, but that's positive.
Yeah.
When there is these people around, it means you are doing it very well.
So you take it on a good way.
Yeah, now yes. At the beginning, no. At the beginning, I was going crazy when I was 20, 22, 23. The first couple of news I had, also on international stage, I was really going completely crazy. Now I say, okay, if you want to criticize, good. It means Mourinho once said, not even God was appreciated by everyone. So Jesus Christ or whoever. So imagine, he's right. I think sometimes you just have to understand that people can criticize, hate you. It's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next category is ethical integrity.
Look, on this, I give myself 9 because this is a really important point for me. Many times people like to criticize, attack, and usually they do that without their own face. So they just create an account, come on, maybe on Twitter. Usually it's Twitter, X. They go there and attack and say, you got money from this, from that. That's what I really, really hate the most. For me, it's really, really important to be 100% part of the ethical integrity. Is something that is part of my job. And, also, I think you can't stay long-term in an industry like football, which is very big, but it's also very small. We know each other. Everyone is a very small world. If you do something wrong, they will know in 2 seconds. You can have friends. I always say that our job is like real life. When they ask me how it's like to have relationship with president, players, agents, I say it's like going to school. You have your best friends, you have normal friends, you have people you don't like. It's absolutely normal. I have some good friends.
I got to ask, because I couldn't find it online, anything like this, what you're saying now about you. So can you tell us, what are your top 5 friends in the football business?
I will never tell you because because it's ethical integrity, of course. So that's the point. But I have some good friends who are also players. Like for example, Erling Haaland. I spoke to him the first time when he was a kid, going from Molde, then to Salzburg. We sent the messages when he started playing in Champions League. Now he's one of the best players in the world, and for me, it's also nice. I met him several times. But it's also nice to see the progress of the player, the progress of the friendship. We spoke
and you feel good when you recognize him early on.
Exactly. For me, it's also a source of satisfaction, You can say, okay, I saw this kid when he was young. So it's these sort of things. Then people can start thinking, no, this player is paying you to say this and that. But it's fine. I always say, if you have proof, bring the proof and I will close my account. No problem. Here I am. But no one still...
Yeah, there was just one article from, as I recall it good, the Danish...
From the Danish press. Yeah, but ask them. They also did another article a few months later saying that everything they published was fake. But that article is no longer being shared by other accounts. It's still there. I can send you the link. Because you see what happens? They attack you. They do a big article. They do everything. They say, okay, I have to defend myself. I defend myself. And then there was a court saying, okay, Fabrizio didn't do anything of this. They publish an article, but no one see the final part of the story.
Yes.
Just the beginning of the story.
But that's always the case.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's fine. I didn't want to share too much about that because I give them visibility and they already had too much in my opinion. So good luck.
Okay. Next category is transparency.
Transparency, I tell you 10, because everything I do is with my own face, is with my own name, is my responsibility. I can be right or wrong, I can do a mistake or best news in the world. Everything is by myself, is with my face. I go to the stadium, people can find me. I'm not hiding in strange places. I'm living in Italy and not going to live to strange places just to make easy situation or money or whatever. So very easy. For me, everything is very transparent.
Category number 6, interviewing skills.
Interviewing skills, I will give 7. Let's say 7 is not my main focus. So, it's something where I want to improve. I have to learn, to study. So it's not something that you wake up in the morning and you get your skills. But of course, I think I started as a traditional journalist when I was at Sky, when I was 18, 19. I also had the opportunity to interview many people. So, of course, you have standard knowledge of the interviewing skills, but at the same time, to become a legend of this field, it takes time. I also feel that sometimes you have to be older to have this sort of experience. So maybe when you start getting, 35, 40, 45,
38.
50. Exactly. No, you have more experience. So it's also a matter of experience. And I invest a lot of my time on the news more than on interviews.
Okay. The next category is independence.
Independence 11. Independence 11 because I do everything by myself. I control myself, and many times people can think okay, this means that you can work less, you can relax more. But in my case, is I work even more compared to the traditional 8-9 hours you can work in a traditional radio or TV or newspaper. For me, it's different. I decided to invest everything on myself. I love football, so it's a big sacrifice, as we said at the start, but at the same time, it's a big luck to be into the football world, to be with this responsibility of people following your information. But independence is absolutely crucial to me.
So now let's move on to the football side. The next
Football
one,
tactical
technical
knowledge.
knowledge, because from what I heard, you did a technical piece articles in your early stages
Sometimes,
of the career.
yeah, sometimes yes, at the beginning. I would say not too much. Let's say 6.5. Yeah, normal 6.7 is nice. No, just because, I think it's very basic. I'm big fan of tactics, to be honest. I'm big fan, but knowledge is a different point. So if you ask me how much you like the tactical side of the job, I would say 10, because I really love that. I'm obsessed with managers create something new, or maybe also the traditional Italian mentality when they say, you play defense. I love that. How you defend against top teams. Sometimes when I have the chance to speak to football people, who maybe are managers or members of coaching staff, how you prepare the game. The day after, of course, not the day before, but the day after, why you did this, why you did that. Then I don't use that on my channels. I don't use that for my information.
It's only for you.
But for myself, I like it. Yeah. So my own knowledge is very normal, but I love this side of the game.
And the coaches, best tactical coaches for you?
There are so many, but I want to mention an Italian one. So I say Antonio Conte. I love Antonio Conte. For me, Antonio Conte is one of my role models because of the tactical side, of course, but also the obsession.
The next part, technique.
Technique, 3.1. No, 3.1 and 1. Let's say 4. Come on. No,
come on.
I was not a good player. I'm not a good player. Even when we play five-side with friends, very normal. So I'm not the kind of skillful guy. I'm very Italian old-style player.
But you did play football.
Yeah, but it's just with friends.
When you were a kid, no?
No,
Not
never
in any club?
professional. No. I prefer to be an Italian Gattuso, Materazzi style player rather than being a skillful player. So 4 is already good.
That's why I prepared the next category for you, tackling.
Next one is good. Let's say 9, tackling 9. Yeah, because this. When I grew up, we had incredible defenders in Italy. Cannavaro, Nesta, Materazzi, Costa Curta, Baresi, Maldini. I could mention, I don't know how many, but even when there were the normal ones, they were excellent. So for me, this mentality as a defender, all style, tackling was always an obsession. So 9 because I grew up with this mentality. I was and I am when we play five-side center back, and so. Yeah, this sort of mentality is mine.
Okay, the next category is speed. How fast are you?
3. I'm not fast at all. I'm fast with the news. With football skills, no, not at all.
Okay, shot precision.
This is a good point. I would give me a 7. Let's say 7. I like shooting in a precise and powerful way. So I was obsessed with that when I was younger. There was a player I loved, because he was a defender, but his shoots were incredible, and was Alex, former Chelsea centre-back.
Yes.
My God, the free kicks from Alex, I was big fan. Fantastic.
He scored one of the most beautiful goals in the Champions League.
Yeah, I remember
against
that
Liverpool,
too. I don't remember against who, but he's a player I used to love. Yeah. So 7.
And you scored a goal on the Maldives.
But that's quite easy, to be honest. That was quite easy.
So your average rate is?
Let's see. 7.7.
7.7?
Yeah, less than my friend Podolski. But it's quite good.
You watched our first episode?
Yeah. So but also because I'm a big fan of Poldi. I used to play here also.
Yeah, in Inter.
Yeah. No, we speak sometimes online. Yeah, super nice guy. Yeah. A legend of the game. 7.7, I'm happy. Also because I like number 7, so 7.7 is cool.
So we usually have these categories like typical football categories. So if we can just go through that.
Sure.
Okay, and you just first player in the football history who comes up to your mind. You just said who you think is the best in this category. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not gonna be easy.
Okay,
yeah?
give me some time. Okay.
So speed.
Let me ask you a question. I can mention players I didn't even see, or players I only saw with my
football
own eyes.
history.
Garrincha.
Oh, nice stuff.
Because I was reading books on Brazilian football, and I always had this view of Garrincha being like incredible. So Garrincha.
Okay, nice. Stamina.
Stamina, Javier Zanetti.
Yeah. He had
Incredible.
all the qualities, but one of them was...
Incredible.
Yeah.
The consistency was unbelievable. Playing 38 games every season, unbelievable.
Yeah, all right. Technique?
Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Because for me, for my generation, what I saw from Ronaldinho was, I was exactly in that age, when you start to approach football. I remember I went to Barcelona on vacation with my family. We went to see a game. There was Ronaldinho training on the pitch outside the Camp Nou in the morning. I was like, this is not possible. I went back and bought like 5 shirts of Ronaldinho, books, everything about Ronaldinho.
I suppose one of the memories you will always remember.
No, for sure, for sure.
Okay.
For me, Ronaldinho is top.
God.
Yeah, almost. God is only Maradona.
Okay. Vision?
Andres Iniesta and Toni Kroos. Let me add also Toni Kroos, because Iniesta, of course, was at the beginning of my football experience, and then recently Toni Kroos, I fall in love with Toni Kroos mentality. For me, Toni Kroos is a big model too. What he did, retiring with the Champions League in your hands at Wembley, unbelievable.
You had the information first.
Yeah, but I didn't share.
Uh-huh.
I was waiting on that. I was waiting till the very end, but yes, respecting the legend. Yeah.
All right. Long passing?
Andrea Pirlo. Andrea Pirlo when he was at Milan and then at the end at Juventus too, but what he did with Milan was insane. And with Juventus also with the national team, Pirlo. For us in Italy, when you think about passing, you have to mention Andrea Pirlo.
Yeah, but also vision, creativity, yeah. Everything.
Insane.
Yeah. Okay. Tackling?
Rino Gattuso. Rino Gattuso because I go with Italians again, but the vision of Gattuso when it's about tackling at the right moment against top players, to put the right intensity in the moments of the game, I think is underrated when he was doing that. Not just what he was doing, but when he was doing that. There are some moments of the game when you need a tackle to send a message. And I think it's a really important skill, tackling. I was at Anfield in November, and Liverpool-Real Madrid, there was a tackle from Conor Bradley, and the celebration from the crowd, from Anfield, of that tackle, more than a goal. I was like, from a young kid, imagine what he meant to that guy. So Gattuso was perfect in this, because he was always sending a message to the team at the right moment. We need the approach, the intensity. So Rino Gattuso, yes.
Okay. Next category is crossing.
Luis Figo.
Oh, nice.
When it's about crossing, I remember Luis Figo, what he did at Real Madrid. Fantastic.
Finishing?
That's a good one. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I mentioned Cristiano because he's been the machine of our generation and of many other generations for sure, because when it's about finishing, Cristiano is another planet.
Okay. Shot power?
Shot power. Roberto Carlos. I put Roberto here. Yeah, I put Roberto here because we grew up with Roberto's free kicks, and also the quality of what he was doing at left back, and then going with that shot power. That goal against France is history of the game, of sports, I would say.
And many others.
And many others,
many others.
Yeah.
Okay. Shot precision?
Leo Messi. Leo Messi, because the quality of Leo Messi when it's about precision is art. Art is the correct word.
Yeah. I agree. And the last category is set pieces. Who do you remember?
Juninho Pernambucano, because also in this case was exactly my generation, and I remember watching him at Olympique Lyon once. I was there, and I saw a free kick from Juninho in person. The emotion was incredible because we had this Juninho talk. Then at that time, you didn't have the opportunity to see games on regular basis. It was not like now. I was a kid, so I was there with my family, I remember, and we went to see the game, goal of Juninho. What a player. Love him.
God, you're a rich guy from your experience.
Yeah. I should also mention Pirlo, but we already said Pirlo in another category, so let's say Juninho.
Yeah, Mihajlovic,
Yeah,
Platini,
Yeah.
Pirlo also, Zico.
Yeah, no, there are so many. Yeah.
Let's move on to the next section. We prepared some quiz for you.
Okay, perfect.
So this is the part where I prepare the quiz for you.
I'm scared because I'm not good with quiz and this sort of things, but let's do it.
No, don't worry.
Let's see.
So we are looking for 3 final answers.
Okay.
For each and every one of them, you'll get 3 clues.
Okay.
First clue is the toughest one. You shouldn't be guessing right away.
Okay.
And the third clue is the easiest one, so you'll see. All right.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so you take the iPad, and this is the first clue for the first final answer we're looking for. So this is napkin sold for the almost 1 million euros. Do you know who are we looking for?
Leo Messi.
You see, it's not tough. So you can show the second and the third clue so the people just see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
the second is that you have 34 million
But
followers.
already from the picture, I could have the chance to guess.
He has 17 times more than you.
Okay, good. And the final one, okay, perfect.
So, tell us a little about your interview with Messi, how he is like. You get the impression of him, right?
Yes, and I can tell you that the feeling I had when Messi arrived for the interview is like I completed my career. Because I started with Messi and Cristiano, with this generation of legends. But then when Leo arrives in front of you and you have the chance, because I already met him in some public places, but you say hi, but stop. Then in that kind of opportunity, you can talk a bit, you can see how normal he is. I had a feeling of someone really normal in the most positive way of the word, because he was really down to the heart, really relaxed, nice, really kind also with the people behind the scenes, which is really important to me. It's not just about myself as a journalist, but the people who is working with you is also important, and he was being super nice. And then as a journalist to interview Leo Messi, when you start, you have this opportunity.
Were you nervous?
No, no. I was not nervous because these sort of things were putting me nervous when I was younger. Now I'm not nervous, but I was really excited because I was like feeling this is going to be legendary for myself. I will tell about this moment to all my friends, to one day to my family, and whoever will be part of my pathway as a journalist and as a person. I will remember this moment forever, till I die. So I was very happy because I had an opportunity I wanted since I was a kid, but at the same time because I saw him being comfortable. That's the best feeling when you have this sort of legends next to you. If you see someone being comfortable and not feeling that, okay, I have to do this interview, you do 5 interviews per day, all the people want to interview you. I saw him feeling quite well, and that for me was the biggest win.
That's what I'm having right now.
Thank you.
So, comparing to the other superstars that I suppose you do know well, or even more than well, what would we say the Messi's biggest difference?
Humble.
Yeah, that's it.
Humble, very humble, very, very simple. And that's something that I really, really appreciate because it's what I really try to do by myself too. You know, it's also quite my style, and I'm not criticizing others. There are many players around the world who like to be at the center of attention. Messi is different. Of course, he is at the center of attention, but because of what he does. And but again, the approach as a person is what surprised me. And then that he was not in a rush. You know, in this kind of interview, sometimes you can find a player like Messi, a legend like Messi, can say, okay, let's be fast, do it, and bye. In that case, he was really relaxed. He spent some time asking me, like, you are from Napoli, you know, you are Italian, asking me something about myself. And for me, it was incredible because you don't expect that. You expect maybe someone of this level to come, say hi, do the interview, bye-bye.
And you wouldn't mind because...
Exactly, it's normal. I would accept that. Imagine how many people every day want to speak to Leo Messi. But to spend even 1 or 2 minutes to have a normal conversation, for me, had a big value.
And you had the chance to spend some time with him besides the camera?
No, it was just 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah. Before and after, you know, just while they were preparing. But was very cool.
Nowadays, when you talk about Messi, people always have to switch the tables and talk about his connection with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And there's always this question, who is better for you? I'm not going to ask you, even though you have the chance if you want to.
I always answer Diego Maradona. So, you know, because my favorite is, as Napoli guy, for me, has always been Diego. So, but also, I'm not big, I agree with you, I'm not a big fan of comparisons in general. I always say, if you have 2 fantastic tennis players, football players, legends in general,
let's just
enjoy. Yeah, I think one day, very soon, when they will retire, we will remember of this, and we will say, maybe we spent too much time saying who is better, who is worse, who is this. And then maybe some people, I did enjoy a lot, because I remember every single goal, moment. Why people should spend time and get hungry on something which is very beautiful. It's like you have 2 beautiful pieces of art in a museum. You don't spend time arguing, oh, no, this is better, no, this is worse. Just enjoy, say the positives, not the negatives.
Nice. And people, let's say, Cristiano fans, they've been a little bit furious about you because they said that you misrepresented his words in some cases in order to make him sound arrogant. Yeah, what do you say about that?
Yeah, I can say that if you go on Netflix, you can find a documentary on Saudi Pro League with Cristiano, and I was speaking about Cristiano for 1 hour, I think in the best way possible. I met with Cristiano also a few weeks ago in Saudi, and he was being super nice. I was also not surprised, but I was very happy about that because I saw Cristiano being also very easy, very nice, like a normal person in the street. He came there and said, Grande Fabrizio, which for me was like a medal, imagine, was unbelievable. Exactly at the same level. It's a different emotion, but it's at the same level, of course, of Leo. So how can I do something negative? And trust me, if I was doing something negative, Cristiano was not coming there and saying Grande Fabrizio or whatever. So I'm not pro-Cristiano or anti-Messi or pro-Messi, anti-Cristiano. I'm just enjoying them. I had the chance, the big luck of meeting both of them in the last 6 or 7 months. And so it's just, again, time to enjoy them and enjoy them on and off the pitch till they retire.
Nice. Okay, let's move on to the next final answer we're looking for, and this is the first clue.
Watford. I'm too fast.
Yeah. But who? So
But
we're
there is
looking
one
for
more.
2 clubs, yeah?
Okay.
We're looking for 2 clubs. One is Watford.
Okay.
Can you guess it, like, just based on this, which is the second club we're looking for?
Real Madrid?
No. There's still clue number 2, so you can...
Let's see. Let's go to number 2.
So there are 2
Walter
big
Mazzarri,
Italians.
Napoli.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so you now see where I'm going to.
Yeah.
So you said this is one of the rare piece of information, like personal, that they are online connected to you.
Yeah.
And like they're saying that you are Watford fan. So what I'm trying to say, you're born at Naples. So it's not Napoli.
Yeah.
You really are?
But when I was younger, Napoli was like in third division, was a difficult moment for Napoli, so it was a different approach. And for me, Watford is because of video games. I always used to play with Watford because they had Italian ownership, but from England, which is obviously the most fascinating part of the football world. So this love is starting from 3 factors. Video games, this impact I had with international football for the very first time with Watford, and then Troy Deeney. When Troy Deeney scored that goal against Leicester, for me it was an insane emotion. I was watching the game with Gianfranco, yes. So in Italian, with the Italian ownership, having this goal scored by Troy Deeney, for me it was one of the most iconic football moments ever.
It surely is. Okay. So we have one final answer we're looking for. So this is the first clue.
Played with Maresca, Cambiasso, Nemanja Vidic and Kylian Mbappé.
So
Played with Maresca or under Maresca?
no, played with.
Oof.
Yeah. I had to make it one tough one for you. So remember, the quiz is about you.
Yeah, it's about me. So it must be Mbappé with Monaco, I think. No?
We can move on to the
Let's go.
clue number 2. So
Prolific striker, 7 hat-tricks, 4 goals.
yeah. He's prolific striker who scored 7 hat-tricks in his career, even had 3 games where he scored 4 goals, in one of which, these games, he had highest Sofascore rating, 9.5, and actually it was the game against his former team. So now...
I'm confusion. Let me see again.
So it's about striker.
Okay.
Very important to you.
But I'm thinking strikers who played with Mbappé. Link to me. Let's go to number 3.
Yeah.
Official deal.
Official deal went through in the summer.
So from Barcelona.
Yeah, 2.
2.
And you got the information like 8 or 9 months before, in the winter of 2010.
But it's Mauro.
Yes.
Mauro
Icardi.
We can delete this one because otherwise Mauro will kill me. No, Mauro. Yeah, no, Mauro.
That's like the start of your career, right?
Yeah, it's my first news. It's probably the news I love the most because it's where it all started. I still don't know how it started because there was this guy working in the bar next to La Masia who was trying to be an agent, was an Italian guy, who is still a good friend of mine. And he got my phone number. I was working on a very small website in Italy. It was my first experience as a journalist. I was not even a journalist. I was just trying to write articles to see how I was going to develop my potential career. And this guy called me and said, I am here. I meet all the players every day because they come here after the training. And so I would like to do something for them, maybe for Mauro, for Deulofeu, not to publish something specific, but just to say what kind of players they are. Mauro is number 9, Deulofeu is a winger. It was different world. It was not like today you go on Y Scout and you find all the players in 5 seconds, or you turn on your TV and you find everything in 5 seconds. At that time, you had to know the players to see something in the academy. So I wrote these 2 articles. This guy started working with the first agent of Mauro, Icardi, and then he gave me my first information. That was Mauro to Sampdoria from Barcelona on a free transfer. But that was not a big one. That was a nice one, but for me it was like, okay,
because Mauro was still young. He was in Barcelona.
Yeah, no one knew him, basically, because, again, at that time there was not this knowledge of academy football as we have today. And then when he goes to Sampdoria, he does everything very well, scoring many goals. And then when he went to Inter, I got the information. It was, I think, end of October, beginning of November. That guy called me and said, you will see rumors on Juventus, on Napoli, on Roma, because all these clubs want to sign the player. But he will go to Inter. He will be the last signing of the president Moratti. Then he will sell the club. And he's already agreed. He's already done. Mauro will go there. And so I shared the story because for me it was a new experience. Like I have nothing to lose, okay, let's say that. And it was the beginning, my first news, my first story. And then my first day at Sky, the following summer, I signed my contract. On the first day I arrive and the guy from Sky tells me, okay, tomorrow, are you ready to do something immediately? I said, why not? There is a Mauro Icardi arriving in Milan. You have to find where he is, take a picture, try to find him. It's not going to be easy. I said, okay, no problem. I called this guy. He told me, go to Dolce & Gabbana. He will do shooting there. Okay, I go there. I did the first interview. So imagine, I was 19. I arrived back at Sky headquarters and say, okay, I have an exclusive interview with Icardi on first day. Oh, wow, unbelievable. And so that's how it all started. And so for me, Mauro will always have a place in my heart because it really changed my career.
But let's talk about what you do. That's why I put Mauro in the quiz. What would you say are your biggest scopes, like the biggest ones and the ones that you like the most? Like,
look, the biggest one, I think, I would mention the Tuchel Nagelsmann story, because that one for me was completely unexpected. First, top club like Bayern. Very difficult club to break stories because they do a very good job in Germany, especially Bild. They have a lot of information on Bayern, so to arrive before Bild on this sort of story is very difficult. Where I think first in the Bundesliga, still in the domestic cup, and in Champions League, they had beaten Paris Saint-Germain. They only considered, I think, 1 goal in Champions League. I think it was against Viktoria Plzen on the final game of the group where you don't even care because you're already qualified. Bayern were flying, so you don't expect them to fire the manager. So when I got the call with the information, I said, okay, my friend, I will call you another moment because it's for the summer, no, maybe. So I said, now it's international break. Let's speak maybe tomorrow, next days. It was late night. And the guy told me, no, it's happening right now. So from that call to the moment where I said, okay, see you tomorrow, it was like 7 hours. They're showing you about the process to get this information, to check this information, call the people, text the people, prepare the tweet, prepare the post, pick the right words, confirm the story as soon as the others also have the story, return on the story and give more details. So do the video, produce the content to say the behind-the-scenes stuff, 6-7 hours. So people can think it's easy, but a lot of pressure. And then they were not replying from Bayern. I was trying to check the news officially with the club, and they were not replying.
did you have the idea that there is something to it just because of that?
No. To be honest, no. Because I think if you want to control the information, the best way is always to reply, not to stay silent. If you stay silent, I can be a free shooter and kill you. If you reply, you can tell me it's not true. You can tell me wait. You can tell me it's true, but let's manage it together. It depends club by club, but you can manage it in different ways. If you don't reply, it's very dangerous. Because, I have the power to say the news and create you a problem. So in that case, I was waiting because I knew it was a big shock, 1 hour, 2 hours. Then I said, I can't wait anymore. I have a confirmation on another side of the story. I have to go. So I shared the story. And I remember from Bayern, the guy was the director was Hasan Salihamidzic, was very furious with me. And I understand that because I was putting them in a difficult situation. But then after that, he told me, I respect you because you were trying to check the news. And so for me, that story was super big, super shocking. And then to see 2 reactions to that story was a big satisfaction for me. The first one was when Nagelsmann said, and I was quite sorry about that, but he said I was snowing with my girlfriend because it was international break. And then I open my phone and I see the news. The problem was that Nagelsmann was not informed by Bayern yet. So probably he saw the news from myself. I feel sorry, but it's also crazy to me that this is the level. So it was a satisfaction on the professional point of view. I felt sorry on a human point of view, but then Nagelsmann had a fantastic career also with Germany, so he's very young, so I'm sure it's not going to be a big shock. And the other one was when Lothar Matthäus, a legend of the game, Ballon d'Or, goes to do an interview and says, I don't understand how it's possible that an Italian guy gets an information on Bayern before the German press. This is really crazy for German football. It was like a problem, according to him, for the club to have leaks to an Italian guy. But for me, it was like the best reaction ever. And the best one on a personal point of view, in terms of feeling, was when I broke the story on Zinedine Zidane leaving Real Madrid job. Because in that moment you react and you think, okay, I'm trying to do my best, Italian football, international football, but then is Zinedine Zidane, a legend of the game, and Real Madrid, which is the biggest, among the biggest, is another planet. Yeah. When you mention these clubs, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man United, Bayern, is another planet. And then with Zidane, the name is Zinedine Zidane. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm the first one to say that. Then all the Spanish media confirming. I was like, this is insane. So for me, that feeling was unbelievable. And then let me mention also Cucurella, because...
because I was going to ask you about that.
No. For me, Cucurella will always be special. It's going to be impossible to have another story like that. Because to have a club, like in that case, Brighton, doing an official statement against you, saying that you are sharing fake information, having all people on social media, just as you said before, waiting for you to be wrong. That was the Champions League moment for them, no? You are winning the Champions League because Fabrizio is wrong, so they started attacking me, sending very negative comments everywhere. So also on the personal point of view, I was suffering a bit in that moment, but I was trusting my sources. So I was in a comment on Twitter saying, we will see who lied, and about memes every time they send me that one. Because I said, we will see who lied, because I was 100% sure of my source. And then when 2 days later, Chelsea complete the deal and Cucurella completes the medical, for me it was unbelievable feeling. I woke up in the morning, I think it was early morning, like 9, 10, and I got the news. Then official statement from Chelsea, joking about the Brighton statement. So, I say, like, there are two clubs fighting each other, in a nice way, of course, because of myself. So I said, we are reaching the next level, but I was very happy with Cucurella because he wanted to move, and I think he was quite disrespected by the club when they didn't want to share the information just to hurt him. Now he's at Chelsea, he's happy, so good for everyone, also for Brighton, who got very good money.
And you also mentioned a couple of times you don't have many interviews, right? But you said that Cristiano Ronaldo moving back to the Manchester United also was really special for you.
Absolutely, absolutely, because that one was, I remember all the people talking about Man City. So we spent 2 weeks of Cristiano Ronaldo is going to Manchester City, is almost done, and I was not reporting the story. Then when he went...
But it was real possibility?
It was real, yeah, but he was waiting. He was waiting for Manchester United, hoping for Manchester United to arrive.
Yeah, it would be difficult.
Exactly,
transfer, right?
Exactly. So they arrive, and in 12 hours they close everything. It was a very fast deal, but for me that was special because of the reaction of the people. I remember I went live on Twitch and there were like 98,000 people waiting for the here we go. So I say this is more than Camp Nou. So it's like Maracanã, the full Maracanã waiting for me to say something. So I was like, this is completely insane. My dream one day is to do a here we go while a team is playing at the stadium for a big story. Imagine you have all the people in the stadium, 60, 70,000 people attending the game, and then you break the here we go live and you see the reaction. That would be crazy.
I can see you doing that.
I can't because it's too much, but that would be nice.
Okay. But you were talking obviously about your sources. I won't ask you because I know you won't reveal them. Yeah. But can you tell us what kind of people are your sources? Is it just the players, the managers, the directors, or, I believe you have connections like the janitor in the club.
Can be whoever, really.
Yeah, it is,
Can
right?
be whoever. Yeah, of course you have more institutional and traditional sources. The director of the club, the president of the club, the agent, the player sometimes. And then you have crazy sources. It can be a guy from a restaurant telling you, look, there is a dinner ongoing between Arteta and a player. They call you, you check, maybe you then share this information. So I'm not going to tweet, Arteta is having a dinner with, I don't know, I'm inventing Messi. But
that is one of the biggest part. When you get this first kind of information, you check it, but you don't do it right away, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why you get respect.
Yeah, exactly. Or you, as I told you, it can happen that someone can text me and say, okay, there is in this restaurant, maybe send me the picture. Arteta, I say Arteta can be whoever, Guardiola with a player. Because maybe they are talking about a future transfer or something like that. I'm not going to share that Arteta or Guardiola or whoever is having a dinner with a player. I'm going to check, wait, and then say, Man City, Arsenal is interested in signing this guy. They already had some contacts. You know, you put the news in the correct way. That's how you get the respect. But the source can be really any sort of guy working in a hotel, working in a restaurant, working in a club, working in an agency. Now the football agencies are very big. The traditional football agency, when I was younger, when I started all of this, was the agent himself. Was like Raiola, Jorge Mendes, one person taking care of everything, maybe a lawyer, and that's it. Now in the agencies you have 10 different people, 12, 50, whatever. It can be, it depends on the agency, but now they are very big. And you can get the social media guy, you can get the photographer, who can be whoever, who can listen into something and text you. So really, you can get information from everywhere.
Cool. Let's move on to the next part.
Perfect.
So Fabrizio, here we are at our special board.
Yeah.
You know anything about this?
I heard something from Podolski.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I made a little bit of adjustments even for this, for your part, because you, let's not say hide your connections, but
I wasn't in a dressing room, so it was more difficult.
Yeah, okay, you understand me. But let's see. But we have one person you're gonna introduce us a little bit, because it's important for you. So this is Gianluca Di Marzio.
Okay.
If you can describe him with this kind of adjectives, with this kind of...
Let me see. Always on the phone.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like you?
Oh, perfect.
Okay, like this. Always on the phone. Like you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe something else?
No, it's okay. I think it's okay. Maybe gossip, but football gossip king. So yeah, it could be also. Could be another. I'm disaster with this, you see. I'm only good with the news.
Okay.
Then.
Maybe anything else for Mr.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
So the adjustment for you is that we have a marker.
Okay.
Because I don't know who are you good with. You revealed something, and I'm grateful for that during the interview. But so, for example, chill guy. If you remember what player would be chill guy, you just write down.
I do.
Okay.
I can start with that one.
Here you go.
And I go with Huijsen.
Huijsen. Okay.
Because he celebrates like the chill guy, and he's a proper chill guy. He's a very relaxed guy on and off the pitch. So off the pitch, very relaxed, but also on the pitch. I'm surprised by this kid because, you know, arrive Roma, top. Juventus, then you go to Premier League, move to Bournemouth. It's not easy to arrive at that age, centre-back playing Premier League with these monsters coming in front of you. Top season. So fantastic player, £50 million for his clothes. I think there's going to be a big fight for him in the summer. So good name and top player, in my opinion.
Very, very talented. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say always angry.
Always angry. I go with Antonio Conte. I go with Antonio Conte because for me to be always angry is positive. You are always putting your team on the right mindset. You know, I'm the biggest fan of Conte. So I want to give Conte also something else, because I think we can put Conte also to never satisfied. So it's going to be a double Conte. But this is the right approach, in my opinion, especially because Conte didn't have the best team, always the best team. You always have to reach the next level. People expect you to win, but you don't always have the best team. And so you go and win with Chelsea, with Juventus, with Inter. Now he's doing fantastic with Napoli. So, you know, I think what he did with the national team was amazing. So I put Conte.
Okay, I don't know. Let's move on
then let me see.
Which one?
Let me see. Best dressed, I will surprise you because this is not my field, but I wanted to say that, and I will put Koundé.
Koundé. Oh.
His style is fantastic. I see every time he goes to training, perfect. He goes to the game, perfect. So the style of Koundé is top, really.
Okay.
I think he deserves this.
Party animal, will you discover this for us, huh?
Difficult question, but I don't think it's a big secret. So I think I can put this name. And it's Neymar. I think Neymar is the guy who who enjoyed a lot also out of the pitch. It's very Brazilian mentality, and I think it's not about hiding that. And Neymar has been a party animal on the pitch, because it was proper partying when Neymar was playing at the best level, and still now when Neymar is fit is fantastic. But also we know he's always been enjoying, and I think this is also part of the game.
Yeah, didn't Ronaldinho once said, if you wanted me to be the best player for 10 or 15 years, you have to close down every nightclub.
Also Ronaldinho was a good option. Also Ronaldinho, good call. So then let me see.
Who is a veggie lover? Is there anybody in the football world who loves vegetables?
Haaland. Haaland, because he's perfect with, with eating always the correct food. And he's a big veggie lover, so I mentioned Erling, yeah. But he also likes Italian food, So if you go
Pizza?
with some carbonara sometimes, he's gonna love that. But I think once per year. But yes, yes.
Candy lover? Who is on the other part?
I have no idea on this. I will be honest.
Are you one of them?
No. I'm not. I'm not a big candy lover, to be honest. No.
Trains 24/7, perfect professional.
Too many I could mention. I would say Erling again. So this time I
or
put
even Perisic.
Good call. Also Perisic is also a good call, because Ivan is a machine. I know him since he was at Inter. You torn your ACL, 34, 35 years old, you leave Tottenham, you go to Hajduk, back to Croatia. Many people can think, okay, the career is over. Go back, Champions League, top stage, scoring goals, Juventus, Arsenal, no fear. Fantastic mentality, fantastic mindset.
Future coach?
Good question, this. Good question. In my opinion, I don't know if he's going to be a coach, but in my opinion, he could be a fantastic coach. And is Luka Modric. Because for me, Luka Modric is a football genius. I've always had an incredible admiration for Modric and Kroos. Both of them, different, but both fantastic. And for me, Modric, imagine playing almost 30 years, 25 years in the middle, always under pressure, always with the best teams, always with the best players. Very difficult, but Luka Modric's performances have always been at top level. So in my opinion, he has everything to be a top coach. But
let's see.
I don't know if he's going to do that or not.
Yeah, might. Maybe the captain now?
Captain, we have too many. For me, the captain is Fabio Cannavaro. Must be Cannavaro. Because... you see how we do it. When we talk about Fabio, it's Ballon d'Or and the lights came, because Fabio has been really... I remember I was young, I was like 13 when we won the World Cup, but what Cannavaro did is legendary. Was our captain for the whole country, not just the national team.
Ballon d'Or winner of...
Yeah.
So...
we have so many, huh?
Jokester. Let's just do this one.
Jokester. We can put. I can tell you Cristiano, because Cristiano with me was, with my personal experience, CR7 was really nice. Was joking with me. Was like, you always put my numbers and everything. So Cristiano was very nice, and it's not guaranteed when you meet these legends that they react like that. So for me, my personal experience was the one who surprised me in obviously a positive way. So yeah, I say Cristiano. I see Braveheart. Probably I would say one that could surprise you. But I put Pablo Gavi, because every time I see this kid playing football, I see he puts his head everywhere. He's not scared. After having a bad injury, still there, fight, no problem. He's playing like a leader, and he's still a kid at the end of the day. Players with the age of Gavi, if you see them in other countries like in Italy, they consider them for the academy still. And these 3 years that he's playing for Barcelona first team. So I say Gavi. Okay, I wanted to put Lamine Yamal somewhere, because I'm a big fan of also Lamine Yamal. Maybe to never satisfied one day, because I say that for Conte, but I think for Lamine that could be the crucial point.
Always looking for more.
We always see the talent of this kid, but if he can only be never satisfied, as he is right now, and it's already a big achievement, because probably other players after winning the Euros, debut for Barcelona, win the Golden Boy and everything, could already be, relaxing a bit. He's not relaxing. He's training hard, being very serious, very professional, scoring goals, providing assists. If he keeps being never satisfied, he can be a legend of the game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Fabrizio, this was perfect.
Thank you. It was nice. Thank you. Nice game.
Okay. The next part we call Stroke of Genius. Obviously for you is the case of this catchphrase, here we go.
Yeah.
How did you come up with it? Is it intentionally or you just
No, it was.
happened?
I love it because it was completely random. So sometimes people think that it was planned, maybe with an agency's marketing or all of this, but that was not the case. So I was starting to put this. Here we go at the end of the story, and I saw that the reaction was very nice. It's like it was random, but I think it was also a smart way to communicate to people when the deal is really done. So I think it's not just about how good you are at finding news, sharing news. It's also how easy you make it for those who follow you to understand what stage of the news we are. That was a crucial part of the process, I think. It made it very easy for those who follow football news.
And I suppose you walk on the street and people just tell you, that doesn't come up to you and say, Fabrizio, they say, here we go.
Yeah.
It is
it's like
that.
this, it's like this. Yeah. Absolutely, everywhere, yeah.
And how you found yourself in that kind of situation? Did you get used to that you are really a superstar and you are a journalist once again?
No, I don't feel like a superstar. I think it's very normal. For me now, it's obviously impossible to say no. Impossible. I like it. I like to speak to people, to have a direct contact, so no problem at all.
And while we're still here in this part of this section of the interview, Stroke of Genius, what would you say are that kind of things, stroke of genius in history of football? What you think of as whether it's a coach's decision, whether it's a goal, whether it's an assist, whether it's goalkeeping, defending? What would you say is the most iconic moment in the football history for you? Or we can do it in the two parts, international football and Italian football.
Look, I will give you a player and a coach. And the player moment for me is the hand of Diego Maradona, because that moment has always been part of the narrative for my family, from my father, my grandfather. All of them were always telling me about that moment. And for me, Diego's been a genius, really, a real genius. And that moment is that iconic. It's crazy that you do something irregular and people now is not even complaining about that. They see that as something like art. And then I will give you also about a coach. And for my generation, must be Jose Mourinho. Because I'm obsessed with, I told you, the communication, no? And so I told you before Antonio Conte, because nowadays, for me, he's among the best for what he did. But when we experienced Mourinho and Guardiola, I'm also a big fan of Pep. What he did on the tactical point of view is on another planet. So Pep is an absolute genius. But on the communication point of view, for me, I work in the communication world, and what I saw from Jose Mourinho is absolutely insane. The capacity he had to bring all the pressure on himself and to let the team perform at the best level possible, to win a Champions League at Porto, to have that sort of achievement, the treble with Inter and then at Chelsea and then Real Madrid. The career of Jose Mourinho, for me, in the way he used the communication to win titles, is something insane. So we had the luck to experience Messi and Ronaldo, Guardiola and Mourinho, enjoying all of them, enjoying the tactical point of view with Pep, again, a genius. But the communication of Jose Mourinho, for me, has been at the same level at the tactics as genius of Pep Guardiola.
Nice. Fabrizio, I really had a great time with you. Thank you for your time. And wish you all the best.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for the invitation. I will keep following you on your ratings, and I hope to see you very soon. Thank you. Here we go.
Yeah.